Hey guys, Jamgear here. Today we will be reacting to Blade versus Buffy Death Battle. Um, from my opinion going forward, I'm betting it all on Blade because frankly I only know so about Blade. I don't really know as much about Buffy at all like that. So I'm interested to see what they pull up for her. God, this will be an introduction to Buffy for me, so I'm not 100% sure what it will be. But yeah, let's get into this and see what's up.
Blade versus Buffy.
The Daywalker versus the Vampire Slayer.
Whoa,
He's
wait,
win.
pause. This is going to be live action. They haven't done one of these in a lot. The last one I saw them do was, what was it? Batman Dark Vader or Nightwing versus, no, or Winter Soldier versus Red. Wait, did they do that or that was Bat in the Sun? I can't remember that. Both of those videos that I'm mentioning are years old, so it's kind of weird. You think we're getting back a live action one? Okay, I ain't no problem with it. Also, the black dude, I don't remember his name. I've seen him on TikTok. That dude can fight. So I know for a fact we're gonna get something good because this brother, in his movements are something else. But yeah, let's get back into it.
And I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. They are known by many names: Revenant, Vortala, Nosferatu.
Vampires. When the moon is out and the night is young, these undead demons are out for blood.
Fitting then that the greatest foe of those who stalk the night is the one who can walk the day, Blade.
Is that really his costume?
Hang on.
Now
First costume.
there's a man who doesn't file his taxes. Blade is one of the coolest superheroes ever, and basically kickstarted the comic book movie craze.
And yet, he is also seemingly the only one who knows or cares that in the world of Marvel, vampires exist. Seriously, nobody talks about this.
Blade doesn't need anyone's help. He'll just aura farm by himself.
Even Blade's birth was hardcore. Just as the young Eric Brooks' mother was in labor, her attending doctor turned out to be the vampire Deacon Frost.
And he drank her blood right before she gave birth.
This infused Eric with Frost's vampiric blood, turning him half human, half vampire. A Dampier.
Giving him a ton of vampy powers, but none of their weaknesses like garlic, holy water, or sunlight.
Eric would hone these abilities under the tutelage of vampire hunter Jamal Afari, sharpening him into a blade that would rape the vampire plague for good.
Blade is strong and fast enough to toss around 1,000-pound demons and cut bullets out of the air. He can keep up with Wolverine, who can deflect Cyclops' light-speed optic blasts. And his Kevlar DuPont armor helped him take the top of Count Von Stott's castle exploding.
He can heal small wounds immediately and sniff out the supernatural with his hypersenses. Also, his fangs can drain his victims of magical energies.
After studying the ways of Hong Kong Kung Fu movies, Blade became a master martial artist. Ah yes, the Rufus from Street Fighter School of Kung Fu.
While the only martial art he's been stated to know is Krav Maga, we know he's mastered more. So for the full scope of his martial arts ability, we'll examine the Blade movies as performed by Wesley Snipes.
By looking at Snipes' training and choreography, we know Blade uses Kung Fu, Capoeira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Eskrima, Kickboxing, Shotokan Karate, and Hapkido. Add on Blade's knack for stealthy takedowns, and I guess you could call him Marvel's Batman.
Blade's training progressed smoothly until Afari was attacked and had his blood drained by Dracula. Seriously, Avengers, Dracula is real. Why aren't you doing anything about this? He's right there!
Forced to murk his surrogate dad, Blade would have to wage his war alone.
Nursing a wound within him that would never heal. a hole that could never be filled.
Not with that attitude. Blade took a page out of the Book of Boomstick and tried filling that hole with every kind of weapon imaginable. He's got so many, they're his apartment decorations.
Handguns, assault rifles, and explosives make up the brunt of his firepower, and he enjoys getting up close and personal with his dual acid-etched titanium katanas.
Speaking of glorious Nippon steel, he's got a sword made out of adamantium.
Specifically, secondary adamantium, a variant of the metal that is mass-producible.
It might not be quite as strong as Cap's shield, but it can cut right through heavy hitters like Ultron and the Hulk.
Naturally, Blade has even more swords. His Atlantean ones can slice through magical enchantments. The Word Sword can harm intangible demons, and the Justiciar can slay fallen angels.
Yeah, he's got some weird stuff he can pull out of his ass, like a Hellfire shotgun that burns your soul, or hypodermic needles filled with vampire blood. Seems kinda dumb to turn people into vampires, but it does make them more vulnerable to Blade's arsenal.
All that pales in comparison to the arch weapon of hell in Blade's possession, the breathing gun. It is a living firearm that hisses in the presence of demonic forces. Its sentient bullets chase its victims down. The wounds they cause cannot be healed, and if they get lodged in your body, they'll slowly devour you from the inside out. They can even hurt Hell Lords and even greater threats like the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Blade took everything he had and fought his one-man war for almost 100 years.
He's battled hordes of vampires while skydiving, infiltrated the Pentagon, and even took on Spider-Man like Miles Morales, who could absorb the energy of a bomb that could destroy Harlem. Blade's even bested the Spirit of Vengeance, Zarathos.
And while he occasionally allied with teams like the Avengers, he prefers to work alone.
I probably would too if they only cared about me when I was helping them and not ridding the world of, you know, vampires.
That, and Blade is scared of what he might do if he loses control, because he does have one classic vampire weakness: a thirst for blood. Blah.
Even more so after he had a daughter, Brielle, whom he avoided for fear of endangering her. If his bloodlust does overwhelm him, he will enter a berserker rage, skyrocketing his strength at the cost of his sanity.
Though it does make him even better at killing vamps. He's made a cottage industry out of whooping Dracula's ass.
Dracula is unsurprisingly powerful, capable of summoning a thunderstorm that covered all of Boston with a wave of his hand.
Drac apparently didn't hold a grudge though, since he eventually made Blade the sheriff of Vampires, a vampire nation in the ruins of Chernobyl.
Amazingly, Dracula has even given Blade some of his own blood, which allows him to shapeshift into multiple forms, like a wolf, a horde of bats, or a cloud of mist.
So he can force his way inside your body and blow you up from the inside out, Ant-Man style.
What is with you with the Ant-Man? Blade's hatred of vampires is only matched by his hatred of himself. However, when Brielle showed signs of vampiric powers, Blade finally found a reason to reconnect with his daughter, training her the same way Afari trained him a century prior.
Even after Blade was possessed by the first vampire ever and tried to take over the planet, Brielle put her dad's teachings to the test, saving both him and the world.
And proving that Blade's lonely war need not be so lonely anymore. With his daughter at his side, and also this plant creature pet called Boy Thing, let Marvel's vampires beware. For should they indulge their unnatural urges, they will be sure to meet their end
Buffy,
at the tip of his blade.
What is it that you have, Buffy?
Today's battle is sponsored by Prize Picks.
You know what's awesome? Being right, especially when your co-host is always wrong.
Funny.
That's code DEATH to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup.
Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
In every generation, there is a chosen one. She alone will stand against the vampires, the demons, and the forces of darkness. She is the Slayer.
For thousands of years, a new Slayer would be granted incredible powers and was destined to die young in battle against evil, passing their powers on to the next Slayer and the next, and so on. That is, until the newest Slayer would change everything. Buffy and Summers.
Not exactly the first girl you'd think is the savior of humanity. Buffy's only goals in life were, in her own words, graduate from high school, go to Europe, marry Christian Slater, and die.
But that would all change when the Watcher Merrick appeared and revealed her destiny.
Like, total bummer.
Merrick trained Buffy in the arts of vampire slaying, and she became so efficient that she burned down her school. Whoops.
forcing her and her mom to move to Sunnydale, California to start a new life, far away from any more bloodsuckers and bad makeup.
Unfortunately, small problem, Sunnydale just so happened to be right on top of a hellmouth, where the boundary between Earth and Hell is permeable.
Yeah, that sounds like the valley, alright. Along with new Watcher Giles, Wallflower Willow, part-time bad boy, part-time sad boy Angel, magical retcon sister Dawn, and Xander. Buffy and her Scooby gang would battle a never-ending series of monsters.
And we mean truly never-ending. Sure, there's the TV show, but Buffy has also been slaying vampires across video games, comics, and 128 novels. Tens of thousands of pages of Buffy lore you've never heard of.
But we're just crazy enough to speed read them all.
Buffy
you still
carries a
don't miss some
variety of
stuff in them. I
anti-vampire
know
weaponry.
you guys
There's
enough.
wooden stakes, of course, sometimes dipped in Gorgon venom that can turn you to stone. Though she's also experienced with axes, swords, quarterstaffs, holy water, just about anything.
You said it! When she fought an ancient demon unable to be killed by any weapon forged in his time, Buffy introduced his stupid ass to the 20th century.
She's also a master of Aikido, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, karate, kung fu, wushu, tai chi, kendo, capoeira, and taekwondo.
Buffy apparently thinks Hong Kong's kung fu movie masters could learn a thing or two.
No kidding. Thanks to her Slayer senses, her reflexes are fine-tuned enough to dodge close-range Gatling gun fire, lightning bolts from the sky, and even beams of light. She's kept up with another Slayer, Faith, who can dodge laser beams from point-blank range.
Buffy's strong enough to bend rebar, punch this 4.5-ton bat monster into the air, and smash hard enough to tear apart a building.
And despite her lack of armor, she can survive massive explosions, like the one that destroyed Cephalian's lair that's bigger on the inside.
She can even fight blindfolded, but if she is injured, she heals fast enough to be totally fine by the next episode.
One time, Angel sucked out almost all of the blood from her body, and she survived. Doubly impressive since Angel's blood draining also drains magical energy.
Yeah, Buffy's own magic makes her weirdly resilient to esoteric attacks, like when she expelled this misty shadow demon trying to possess her body, or when she resisted her soul being ripped apart and scattered across time.
Or that time she jumped into a vat of boiling liquid so hot it could reduce people to skeletons, and she was just fine.
She might not show physical scars, but she sure has emotional ones. Being the Slayer put a huge burden on Buffy's life.
Unable to live normally, she felt isolated, forced to internalize the trauma she faced on a daily basis. Sure, she had friends, but they couldn't understand her unique struggle.
Like when Angel turned evil after he took her virginity and tried to destroy the world. That must be one of those metaphors.
Damn.
Sometimes the worst enemies are the
What the
ones
hell's
you
in that
can't
pussy?
fight and who don't fight back.
Made even worse by her having all the memories of the other Slayers bouncing around in her head, dating back to the Stone Age.
Buffy has dreamt of every battle a Slayer has ever fought, and can call upon those skills in a fight, even subconsciously.
But this includes the memories of their deaths. Countless women violently dying young, a reminder of her inevitable fate.
A fate that came to pass when she fought the Hell God Glory. After leaping into Glory's reality-ending interdimensional hole,
A glory hole, if you will.
Buffy sacrificed herself to save the universe, dying a hero's death.
It appears my glory hole joke was poorly timed.
Finally freed of her unfair earthly responsibilities, Buffy's soul ascended to heaven in perfect bliss.
But
Until her friends brought her back to life in the agony of existence! This absolutely crushed Buffy, and ironically, annihilated her will to live.
Oh, that's rough, Buffy. But with the show renewed for more seasons, she had to nut up and continue her endless crusade against all
gosh.
things Spirit Halloween.
Buffy's battled for 48 hours straight, defeated vampires immune to traditional vampiric weaknesses, and destroyed the Sword of Sano, which caused the Great Hanshin earthquake.
And of course, both Buffy and her friends have defeated countless immensely powerful demons.
Like the Queller Demon, which arrived as a meteor and caused the Tunguska explosion, which destroyed over 2,000 square kilometers of forest. Or the Sorrow Demon, which caused a storm that blanketed Los Angeles.
She's also a match for Angel, who survived a blast that could rupture a continental shelf and took hits from Whistler, whose magic contained a bomb that could vaporize London.
She even faced off against
pause. I'm gonna just say it right now. All of this is screaming. She's gonna beat Blade There's a lot, and this is from a Marvel universe. I didn't know Buffy's lore was this deep. I thought it was just a simple TV show. Jesus.
Against the first evil, literally the embodiment of all evil that predates reality itself.
Forced into battles against stronger and stronger baddies, Buffy clearly needed something to even the odds. The Slayer safe!
It's actually a Bardiche.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna say it. This thing is bullshit.
Containing the essence of Buffy's Slayer powers and created to defeat ancient demons, the scythe can deflect magical projectiles and slice through just about anything. Ghosts, magic, even space itself, destabilizing reality in the process.
Even Silas, the devourer of worlds. Kinda like Galactus, but instead of chomping on planets, he eats the multiverse. And there goes his head.
The scythe is easily the most powerful tool in her arsenal.
Oh dear.
In effect, attaining it completed Buffy, as though it were a piece of her she never knew was missing. With the scythe, Buffy was finally whole. Being the Slayer was no longer a burden, but a purpose.
And by sharing her Slayer powers with thousands of girls around the world, they all teamed up and kicked the first evil's ass.
Suddenly, the always isolated Buffy had thousands of shoulders to lean on, a sisterhood of Slayers.
And thousands more reasons for any wannabe demon conqueror to stay away from Earth. Because unless you want to get your blood all over her stylish yet affordable boots, you'll steer clear of Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
Boy, I'm gonna say this now and I'm gonna say it again. This is looking like it's Buffy. I'm still sticking with Blade, but it's looking like it's Buffy. There's a lot. There is a lot. But the other thing to account for is the fact that, hey, Blade has been in non-vampiric events, in bigger Marvel events, outside of Blood Hunt and all of this for years. He has contended with some people, mutants, aliens, gods, all sort of something. So he should be able to handle it. But let's see. I'm still betting on, Blade. So let's see what happens.
Hey, as you know, it's Skeletober.
You mean October?
No, stupid, it's the Skeletober Celebration.
I don't get
Oh.
it.
Come on, don't you watch Death?
Well, usually them having two ads. That's strange. But okay. What if that Blade's music gonna play? That thing has to be copyright free if it plays. Yeah, got a girl. Here comes Buffy, I guess. I wonder if this is gonna end in a tie, based on how this is starting.
We were kings.
I'm hearing it.
Long before they had a name for kings. But now, starved, hunted, forgotten. You have waited long enough. Tonight, we remember who we were. Tonight, we take back what was always ours. Tonight, we feast.
Daywalker.
And she, that's just the start.
Alright. be a suplex. Damn. EJ just went with it. What the hell? Okay, that's a strange. Okay.
Wait!
Some merciful universe.
She was just a kid!
Not anymore.
Right. Alright. Loving the choreography.
You out your damn mind?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I can't take your voice seriously.
Amateur hour.
Cause I was some motherfucker trying to ice skate uphill.
Oh, Jesus. What's up with the glasses? The axe. Oh yeah, it comes back. And now that thing's gonna start devouring.
Another sword!
I see you cut through adamantium.
Bring it on.
Second again, alright. Holding, it's holding, it's holding. It's not looking good, bruv. She got something up her sleeve. Something up her sleeve.
like you got ahead of yourself.
KO!
Oh God! From the moment they introduced that goddamn axe, I knew it was gonna be a problem from the jump. Oh. See, the thing is, see, because I don't read Buffy enough, I can't say I don't read Buffy at all or do not read Buffy, so I can't say, hey, it makes sense or not. I'm gonna let the years I have figured out. I wanna let me know, cause although this is not a bias to the fight, but it's more of a bias to the action. Truth be told, the actor who's playing Blade, I've seen him on TikTok a bunch. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was kind of waiting for him to turn up because I see him do way more in a couple seconds of TikTok and some longer videos, but not here. Sorry. So the whole time I'm sitting here waiting for him to actually like the combat to get a little bit up there more if they draw for him. But I'm like, I'm not seeing it. It feels like him a hold back. To me, it feels like he's holding back. Well, let's hear what I'm saying. Why Buffy win, yeah, man? Okay.
To be Blade tenured no longer. I'm surprised. I figured with Blade's many years of comic book history, he'd have the edge.
Believe it or not, Buffy is actually in more comics than Blade.
Really? Man, Blade can't catch a break.
Let's break this down into 4 categories.
All right.
First up, stats. Buffy's lifted much heavier things and survived more significant explosions.
Like, sure, Blade's strong and all, but he isn't literally fucking buildings apart like Buffy.
Scaling to the monsters
Jesus.
they fought, compare Dracula creating a storm that covered Boston to the Sorrow Demon creating a storm that covered Los Angeles, a city over 5 times larger. You might be able to compare Blade to Spider-Man like Miles, who absorbed a bomb that could blow up Harlem, but that's significantly weaker than Whistler containing a blast that could wipe out London. They could both dodge light beams, but that doesn't keep Buffy from taking the overall edge in stats.
Blade's
Alright, before we go no further, I think I get what's going on. We're gonna end up happening with this. Buffy's our own character, our own franchise. She can go further than so. Marvel have a bunch of characters that are higher, more popular than Blade, so they don't ride Blade a lot to go up on top. And if they do, and the thing with Marvel comics in general, them and DC have this flaw where if someone does get a power up, it's very rare them keep it. They might just go back to what they were for the status quo. It's a thing where I'm like, it's annoying, but that's what they do. So more likely, it's this seeming to be the Spider-Man approach to things, where Toby and Andrew were in a universe to themselves. It's as if there's no other heroes there. So they end up having, the writers and directors did more with those 2 Spider-Man compared to Tom, who have Hulk, Iron Man, and the rest of the Avengers in there, which is where him rely upon them a lot more instead of being upon him own, have to figure this out upon him own and inevitably increasing in power. This is why it's screaming to me. This is really why it's screaming to me.
used to being the odd man out, though, so his versatility is just as important.
With Blade's numerous powers and massive arsenal, he certainly could have overwhelmed the more straightforward Buffy.
Machine guns and magic swords are generally gonna beat out crossbows and morning stars. Not to mention, he actually wears armor.
Also, Blade's faster healing factor and immunity to traditional vampire weaknesses kept Buffy on the back foot for a time. Blade wins versatility.
But when it comes to skill, Buffy's got plenty of experience fighting armed opponents barehanded.
Both of them were masters of a similar number of martial arts.
And Blade has been kicking vampire ass for a century, way longer than Buffy's even been alive.
While Blade may have more personal experience, Buffy's ability to draw on Slayer battles dating back to the Stone Age, at least 40 times older than Blade, gives her the superior skill. Even then, they both had weapons and abilities so powerful they could end the fight instantly, regardless of all else.
They're trump cards. Fortunately for Buffy, she actually countered almost all of what Blade could throw at her.
Withstanding Blade draining her energy with his bite? Check.
Resisting the Hellfire shotgun destroying her soul? Check.
Preventing Blade turning to mist and exploding her from the inside out? Check.
Although you ever did
Meanwhile,
that.
Blade had no way to survive, say, Buffy's Gorgon venom turning him to stone.
And even with the deadly and just plain gross breathing gun, Blade did not have anything as potent as the Slayer Sight. It could easily deflect the breathing gun's bullets back at him, or use its space-cutting ability to slice through his unbreakable adamantium sword.
Don't believe us? Even Wolverine's adamantium skeleton was cut in half when a portal closed on top of him. That's the same kind of thing.
And Wolverine's beta adamantium skeleton is a much tougher version of the same metal.
Oh, and since the Scythe could kill Silas, a multiverse devouring god, I think you could take down Blade with a big enough swing.
Giving Buffy the final advantage over the Daywalker.
I really thought Blade had a chance, but Buffy sure put a damn fear on things.
The
Oof,
winner
as I
is
said,
Buffy
being
the
in a solo
Vampire
verse versus
Slayer.
being in a verse
Next
with a
time
lot of
on
people.
Death Battle.
Who's next? Final Fantasy and Dante. No, not.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle.
Dante versus Clive. Dante versus Clive. Can flip. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. Because I want to immediately say Dante can beat him. But this is Dante going up against a guy with the power of some titans. If you keep him human form, yes, Dante can. But he's not going to. He is eventually going to transform. So now the question is Dante stronger than essentially the Final Fantasy Titans? I forget the official title of what the Final Fantasy ones are called. These summonings. The question is if Dante is stronger than all of them. Well, it's very interesting for now. But yeah, guys, this has been my reaction to Blade vs. Buffy. Let me know your thoughts and opinions below. And I'll see you for Dante vs. Clive when it comes out. So, see y'all next time. Peace.